I recommend the board accept and approve the superintendent's evaluation, which is a little easier to read here. We have a motion. Motion by Mr. Shaw, second by Dr. Robinson. Any discussion? Ms. McQuinn?
I missed my opportunity with Ms. Rico, so now we'll move to Dr. Fennoy. I do want to let Dr. Fennoy and the entire public and staff know that the thing I am most proud of Dr. Fennoy for is as I watch him make decisions. We may not all agree with him. I told him before the hurricane call about school or not on that Friday, whatever decision he makes, 50% of the people are going to hate you. And so I would say our emails came about 50% either way. So about dismissing school or when we start back. But I do know that he makes his decisions based on what ultimately he believes is best for our students, emotionally and academically. And that he very much recognizes that the most direct influence on those students are the teachers in the classrooms, clearly the support staff that we have added to schools, but the teacher who's teaching the student and the administrators in the schools. And Dr. Fennoy recognizes that, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ms. Brill?
Thank you. So I stayed true to form, and I warned Dr. Fennoy when I met with him. I said, historically, just in case you haven't heard, I'm the toughest evaluator the first time around. So to the press, don't read too much into those scores, because my old HR background usually gives me a baseline, but I do think Dr. Fennoy is doing a fabulous job. What I have raised is an question, and actually he's addressing it, is I'd like to see his own personal mark now as we go forward, because a lot of the things that we've had have been in place for a while, but I know that he's already working on that. So again, I just want to say that, it jumps out, and I know it was an effective rating, but it's, I always say you start at effective and you work your way up. Thank you.
Mrs. Andrews?
Thank you, and I've spent some time with Dr. Fennoy discussing his evaluation, and he understood the points that I had for improvement as we move forward. But I'd like to say I was so pleased to see the changes in the Glades region. The new leadership, with Mr. Oswald making the difference so that we could move the school to the next level. There's still much work to be done, and I plan to work closely with Dr. Fennoy as well as Mr. Oswald to get it done. The West Tech initiatives that we've been doing, we're moving forward, but as I spoke with Dr. Fennoy, we want to kind of do a little bit more to get that technical school up and running to the level where it was before. I was really concerned about third grade. That's a big deal for me, and the strategic plan, and we've had many discussions about that, especially as I went through his evaluation, as well as the things that I think we can do as a team, as a school board, and as I work with him personally as a board member. My expectations, I think I've made those clear to him. And I think it's great that we're an A-rated district again. That's a great thing. And I think when we look at our graduation rate, that's beautiful. And I see so many great things that we're doing, but I know that there's still a lot of work to be done. And I look forward to working with him and getting it done. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sanders. Dr. Robbins?
I hate these public evaluations. So, I spent a long time walking through my thoughts on these items in the evaluation instrument with Dr. Fennoy. The only things I want to add is, as Mrs. Andrews mentioned, when I'm looking at this evaluation, I'm in a way evaluating the entire team, right? And so with that in mind, I will just make these few comments that are part of his written evaluation, that we still focus too much on schools and not students, which I think is a problem. I think if we focus on students, the schools will come, meaning the school grades. I think we must focus much more on foundational skill development, and as I brought up in a recent discussion item, I do think we're moving in the right direction, but I think we need to engage more with community and parents in the communities that have the high educational debt. Because we talk about equity, and as a collective, we're not moving that direction with any kind of intentionality. And then I want to say, so Dr. Fennoy, I actually think, okay, write this on the wall, Dr. Fennoy. I think Dr. Fennoy is outstanding. I have high expectations for you. So I will continue to press you. And I think the evaluation reflects that. But because you bring so much to this table, and somebody's intentionally poured into you to get you to be the kind of superintendent and person you are today, I need you to be much more intentional about pouring into others in this school district. You have knowledge and talent that I want shared and spread intentionally throughout this district. And while you are the highest employee on the food chain here, I don't want you to misinterpret this comment. Or I know you'll understand. I don't want the public to misinterpret it. That whole lift while you climb concept, I want embraced in this school district. And I'm saying all that to say, I don't intend for you to, quote, climb anywhere else. You're in Palm Beach County, okay? But that concept, I think we need to spread throughout the district. So, I mean, I'm encouraged, I'm hopeful. I'm hoping that sometime in the near future, I'll be able to say that we are not living up to, but walking intentionally in the path to live up to our mission statement. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shaw.
Thank you very much. I think one of the things that has helped our district since Dr. Fennoy has been here is the leadership that he's provided to bring and continue the stability that this system needs. But I agree with Dr. Robinson and some of the other comments that I'm ready forward to see your direction and give that to you as the challenge to just be as creative as you can be and take as many risks as you can possibly take, as if he doesn't take a lot of risk like that every single day of the week. But, you know, challenge us, because we can only be as good as you help us become. And the only specific recommendation is, and Dr. Fennoy and I have had this conversation several times, is I really would like to see you be really more involved with the Florida Association of District School Superintendents. So that's your challenge, to stay involved with FADS.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. The superintendent, I have a pretty good relationship, I think. I've very much enjoyed working with him this past year as board chair. I want everybody to remember that Dr. Fennoy is a first-time superintendent of the 10th largest school district in the United States, and that has to be taken into consideration. It's not an excuse if he doesn't do well, but it's got to be a consideration that, you know, that I did not give him all 4 ratings, but I gave him an overall 3.8 when it measured out. But I think he's done a fantastic job for a first-year superintendent of the 10th largest school district in the United States. He seems very receptive to me when I've got issues in my district. Hopefully, he's also receptive to the other 6 of you when you have issues in your district. And so the superintendent's final evaluation from the school board on a rating from 1 unsatisfactory through 4 highly effective is a 3.55, which becomes a highly effective rating. So congratulations, Mr. Superintendent. We look forward to a long relationship with you as our superintendent. Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you to the team. So I've been trained in evaluations and providing feedback and receiving feedback, but I have never received feedback on live television. And so I wasn't really worried about it until we got close to it. I was like, it's really going to be on TV. How does this work? But at the end of the day, 18 months on the job, it's not lost on me on how important our work is. We have to do the best that we can for every single student that is under our purview within the school district of Palm Beach County. Education as we know it, I mean, this board has gone through it, has changed. Districts are charged with much more than just academics. You know, our new world, safety, security, social and mental emotional well-being of our students are critical factors to their academic success, and we must address those things. And, you know, that work is taking place by great men and women in our school district every single day. Feedback is part of growth. You know, I've told people many times I'm a military brat, so praise is not part of my personality, is not part of my existence. I thrive on getting honest, very specific feedback on how I can get better. And I strongly believe in the cycle of continuous improvement. So whether it's Mr. Ridley, whether it's folks from the Hispanic community, whether it's anybody, I think the more honest we can be about how we can get better, I embrace that. I will sit down with my team and challenge them that we are in a perpetual state of improvement because the world is changing and our kids' needs are changing so much. And I think for me, I value so much the input of the board, taking a chance on someone with really no experience in this role and being really 7 different types of mentors and guiding lights and challenging me to get better every single day. And I hope to do that for my team. I think as the 10th largest school district in the nation, I think one of the areas I have to focus on is communication. It's a growth area because we're just so large. More specifically, additional processes we have to put in place and be developed to bolster internal communications and ensure high priority issues are elevated to my office as soon as possible. I need to continue efforts to build relationships both inside of the district and outside of the district while capitalizing on the roads that I did make in the first year. There's a lot of people to meet in Palm Beach County, a lot of different groups. I think someone told me I've had over 100 speaking engagements in 18 months. And most people don't know, they make me very, very nervous. So there's a lot of acting going on, trying to look calm in a lot of those conversations, but it's important. You know, I am an introvert by nature. Most people who've known me for years, when I go into a room, I like to stand in the back of the room. I do not like a lot of attention. So being forced to the front is something that I'm challenging my team to keep pushing me to do those things. For those of you who've ever met our Chief of Staff, Ed Tierney, a former Marine, when we're alone in a car driving somewhere, we don't say much. We just ride. You know, we say the words we need to say, and then we shut up. It's great having him around. No disrespect to my former Chief of Staff who wanted to talk all the time. But I loved her too. Recruiting y'all don't make fun of me. But recruiting and retaining a diverse workforce, obviously our children need to see representations of themselves as much as possible. But again, I think one of the parts that concerns me and I am most dissatisfied with is our 3rd grade reading scores. And so we've got to have a laser focus. You know, literacy is I think, the key and the building block to these kids' future. And so if we don't double down and put a laser focus on this, we will not meet all our goals. And so I accept that challenge and we're going to push forward. Yes, we are A-rated school district for the 2nd year in a row. Our graduation rates are high. Again, our staff is amazing. However, the data also tells us even some of our highest performing schools, there are kids that are not succeeding. So we need to really think about that. We can't get too complacent just because we're an A-rated school district. There's a lot of work to do, and it's completely changing on us every day. So we have to create systems and processes to keep kids the focus of our work and not allow adult issues to get in the way. And then also I would like to remain this commitment to creating systems that, again, promote the best outcomes for all kids. So I just want to say thank you to the board for taking this chance. I want to give a really special shout out to our entire team who allows me to do my job, but also teaches me every day how to get better. And I appreciate all the honest feedback from the board, and I hope to just get better with time with your assistance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent.